Material Engineering in IISc Bangalore 2007. Sir is now currently team leader and scientist at Tata Research Development and Design Center, Pune since 2007. Sir has achieved 20 international journal and conference publications and 1 patent. Sir has also awarded the Best Poster Making at NMT ATM 2007 in 2007 and 2010. What are the wonderful achievements has carried out by Sir? Now I request Vijay Sir to take over the session. Thank you.
Okay. Oh my God. Yeah, suddenly hello everyone, am I audible? Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Suddenly I realized that I don't have a camera on this machine. Actually, I'm at a new place, and wait, give me a second. I'll turn on Zoom on my mobile phone maybe. So yes, am I visible now? I'm
Yes, sir.
one second. Okay.
In progress.
Okay. Yeah, so am I visible and audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, so good evening all. My name is Vinay Jain, and I thank you all for taking out your precious time for today's seminar, bridging the gap between the academia and the corporate world. And also, I'd like to thank the organizers, the voice team, Vikram, Ankush, and all the others who are here from the organizers part, organizers team, who have were giving me a chance to share some of my experiences and my opinions, or let's say my realizations on this particular topic. This is a very, very involved subject matter. In fact, you can get a lot of information on the internet on this particular topic. I guess so. But honestly speaking, I have not done any such research on the net. What I would be speaking will be purely from my own limited experience. I say limited because I'm just working as a scientist in an organization, and for the last 15 years I've been doing practically the same thing. So so in that sense, it's a very limited thing. So So my disclaimers are that it's just purely my own personal viewpoints and with an intention just to help you all, right? So that's the whole intention about that. If you can get some benefit out of this, whatever I have learned over the years, I would consider myself fortunate. Yeah. So what I would like to do is, I hope I am audible because I don't hear anything, I don't see anyone. So it's just like speaking to a wall or a blackboard.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Right. So in case there is any problem with the audio or anything, please let me know. So yeah. So yes. So I started my career 15 years back in this company called, it's a TCS Research Center. So I worked there as a scientist, specifically as a material scientist. So I'd like to share some of my experiences there, and from which I think you all are budding engineers and students who are looking for a wonderful career once you get done with your academics here in the college. You are looking forward for a career, right? So let me ask you at the very outset, how many of you would like to have an excellent and very satisfying career once you complete your academics? How many of you aspire to have such a career where you have a kind of a dream job and also a lot of satisfaction in your heart that what you are doing is really satisfying and you are able to do justice to the job? How many of you would like to have such a job? Please, maybe you can raise your hand or just post a comment on the chat. How many of you would like to have that? So Aniket is saying yes. What about others? Okay. There are some more hands being raised. Prathamesh, Amay. See them. So anyway, the point is that everyone wants to have a very interesting, very rewarding, very satisfying career. But at the same time, we need to understand that the academic world is fairly different from what the corporate world has to offer. The corporate world tends to be very demanding and very competitive, sometimes very exploitative also, right? Whereas the academic world tends to be fairly relaxed and not very competitive. There is competition in the sense that there is competition between students for grades, but that's all. There is not very high stakes involved there, unlike there in the corporate world, where it's very competitive, fiercely competitive, and your jobs are at stake. A lot of things are at stake, right? So it's a big transition between the academic world and the corporate world, huge transition. And therefore, it's imperative that we make this transition very smooth. Does anyone have to say anything? So this transition has to be very smooth. Otherwise, it's like a culture shock, right? Just like a fish, if you take it out of water and put it on air or put it on land, it's like a culture shock for the fish, and within moments the fish will die. So similarly, the corporate world can be a culture shock for many of us if we are not prepared for it, right? And as the English saying goes, make hay before the sun shines. That means prepare even before uh, the test comes, right? Or even before the situation arrives. If you are prepared, then you can actually do better. Opportunity favors the prepared mind, right? There is another saying like that. So if you are prepared, then you can latch on to the opportunity the world has to present in terms of your corporate world career, right? So if you are prepared, you will be able to handle it very strongly, very firmly, very nicely. Else, we can end up making a mess of it, right? So because you all are studying in different grades, different years of your engineering, I guess. So it's very good chance that you can now uh, prepare for what is going to come to you in the future, inevitable future, because all of you sooner or later will land up in jobs in the corporate world, and you will have to work in a corporate environment, leave the academic environment behind, and work in the corporate sector. So it's better if we are prepared for it. So what I would like to discuss in this brief session today is some key ingredients that actually help us prepare better for it, right? So what I would like to talk about is three aspects, mainly three aspects. One is knowledge, the other is skills, and the other is character. So these three things. So broadly speaking, I'd like to touch upon these three topics: knowledge, skills, and character. Okay. So yes, knowledge is the first and foremost thing that you actually gain, especially in an academic setting like a university. That's the whole reason you are going to college and you are studying so many books and taking so many courses, writing so many exams for so many years, right? Why? So that you can cultivate knowledge of a particular stream, particular subject matter. But just having some superficial knowledge, writing some exams, is it sufficient? Do you think writing some exams will help you fully prepare for what awaits you in the corporate world? May not be. Because the corporate world is not running necessarily on books and what is asked from you in the exams, right? It's a very different reality. It can be a very different reality. Well, certain things are there, some basic elements will be there, but mostly it will be a very different reality, right? So therefore, the preliminary knowledge that we get by studying books and not even studying, if I remember in our engineering days, my college days, what we used to do is, many of us, I would share my own experience. Like there was a girl in our class named Madhuprita. I studied at NIT Trichy in my BTech days. So we had a classmate called Madhuprita, and she had amazing handwriting, and she had the amazing ability to take very good notes. Whatever the teacher would say, she would be able to capture it in her notes. So almost everyone invariably in the class, what he or she would do is take the Xerox of Madhuprita's notes, and that's all they would study for the exams. That's all, because ours was a deemed university. The questions would be set by the teacher only. It could not come from somewhere outside. So we know what the teacher has taught in the class through the notes of Madhuprita, and you just get it Xerox. Then just some few pages of Xerox, read it, brush through these few pages just a day before the exam or just a few hours before the exam and do very well in the exam. Sometimes it would so happen that by studying Madhuprita's notes, people would get more marks than Madhuprita herself. They have studied only the notes, nothing else. That's all. But they would score more marks than Madhuprita herself, who had made the notes in the first place. But is that good in the long run? Is that a good approach for what we are preparing for in the future? Is that a good thing? No. The problem is you may get good marks by studying notes, by studying some Xerox, or by studying some very limited, some guidebooks or some small manuals or something. But it is certainly not sufficient as far as your career in a corporate world is concerned. Right? You definitely need to expand your knowledge. You definitely need to deepen your knowledge in order to stand out amongst your peers, right? When you go for a job interview, you have to stand out compared to your other peers. Otherwise, why would they take you, right? So therefore, it's imperative that we just don't study notes and just study for exam purposes, but instead we develop a deeper appreciation for the subject. We cultivate a deeper understanding of the subject matter. So how do we cultivate that? So in my college days, I remember I was very fond of reading very detailed books on each subject. I'd go to the library and get books issued. And my friends, because I studied at NIT Trichy, people were not used to studying books. They would just read some Xerox material and that's all. But I was not very satisfied with that. I would go to the library and I will use their cards also, my friends' cards, my roommates' cards. You would be issued some 4 or 5 cards, and I would take their cards also. And with those cards also, I would issue subject books, and I would read them to deepen my knowledge as much as possible, as much as time would permit. Right. So in this way, I was trying to cultivate a deeper interest and deeper understanding of the subject matter that was discussed in the class. So of course, in the exams, it was useful at times, and it was not so much useful at times because ultimately the teacher would ask for the notes. You would not bother about how much extra I have read, right? But then what happened was, I prepared for the GATE exam in 2005, and I had to study very little. I did very little preparation for that exam, honestly. But nevertheless, because throughout my 4 years tenure at Trichy, I was studying very deeply. So I could very easily do well in the GATE exams. In fact, I was lucky to get a rank of 25, All India rank of 25 in my GATE exams. And I got admission into the prestigious Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, for my master's degree. So that's where it helped me that I wanted to study further. So this kind of preparation helped me deepen my knowledge and get admission into the prestigious IISc Bangalore University. So the point is that we have to deepen our knowledge. So that's something very important for you all. That's something that is the main thing, that if you want a brilliant career in the future, start preparing from now on and be very sincere in your studies. Deepen your knowledge, try to cultivate extra, try to go that extra mile to know something more in addition to just what has been taught in the class. That will help you in the longer run, definitely help, right? So deepen your knowledge. Yeah. And that will also make your subject matter interesting, right? So we all want to do very well in our career. We all want to do very well in our studies. But mostly we are stuck with our limited coursework only and trying to grapple with what has been taught in the class, what the teacher has taught and things like that. But if we broaden our horizons, we see, we try to go deeper, then what has been taught in the class will become very simple, and at the same time the subject matter will become very interesting, right? Isn't it? So deepen your knowledge. That's extremely important, and that will help you go a long way in your career. Right? So please do that. And the second thing is, knowledge itself is one thing. The second thing is having skills, the appropriate skills for doing well in the corporate system, right? So corporate world is not just about knowledge. Well, definitely knowledge will help, but it is your skills that will actually help you execute or solve the problems at hand. So you need to develop those skills. And based on your particular stream, you can develop certain skills. For example, in my own career, when I did my master's, I was lucky enough to get a project. In our master's degree, we are assigned a project and a project guide. And I was lucky enough that I got a chance to work with the most sophisticated supercomputers and do material science related simulations using those supercomputers. That time, it's called something called DFT, density functional theory calculations. So I got a chance to do this kind of calculations, which was very unique. Nobody else in my branch, in my batch at that time got that chance. Everyone was working in the lab or studying some subject, that's all. But I was getting to do simulations on supercomputers. And that was a unique skill, very niche skill that actually helped me get my current job. Ever since I passed out from IISc Bangalore, I have been in this job. And the main reason why I got this job was I had this skill of doing density functional theory, DFT calculations. And still I am doing the same thing only. So the point that I want to drive home is having the appropriate skill set which the corporate world is looking for immediately makes you a fit candidate for that particular company, right? So if you don't have it, then also you may be eligible based on your academic records and your other knowledge or aptitude skills and your communication and things like that. But still, if you have that specific skill, that is really very impressive for the company, right? So in your stream, maybe if you are in computer science, they may ask for Java, C++, Python, machine learning, and whatnot. Or if you are in a mechanical engineering stream, if you have something like skills for doing CFD simulations, computational fluid dynamics simulations, or FEM simulations, and things like that, that's immediately that's very much in demand, right? So it gives you an edge over others. So develop those skills. Do some projects in other universities or other industries during your tenure. Don't waste your vacations idling time. So go for some projects, go for some internships. Develop these skills, right? Many a times, I remember in my college days, we would go for industrial training and projects just to get a certificate. But that's just for namesake. Why don't you go the extra mile and learn something deeper, develop some skills so that you can tell to the interview panel that, yes, I know how to do a CFD simulation. I know it. Maybe not so much as an expert CFD simulator, but at least have some basic ideas. So immediately it gives an edge over others, right? So developing the appropriate technical skills required for the job to be done, right? So that is extremely important. And please cultivate these skills during this stay in the academic world. And these skills will not come as a part of your coursework, right? The coursework does not provide you so much skill. It just touches upon that superficially. If you want to know it in a very nice way and call it really a skill, you have to practice it. Practice it for a fairly longer period, right? So develop some skill which is suitable for your particular stream, right? So develop some skills. And this is about technical skills. The other is communication. Many a times I have seen, even in my own company, many people who are from IITs and very top universities, they are they have very good technical skills, but they are struggling desperately when it comes to effective communication. And as you know, the world today, it's all about communicating in English. You know, when I was in IISc Bangalore, I was a student there. I remember there was a Chinese professor who had come to our campus, and he asked me one thing. See, he gave me his card, and he told me that I am from this very top Chinese university. And just like you have this IITs and IISc here in India, I am from the top Chinese university. And I am willing to have you as a PhD student. In case you have very good English skills, I invite you for joining my group as a PhD student. He just straight away told me that I want to invite you as a PhD student if you have good English skills. Because in China, they struggle for English language. They find it difficult to communicate in English. So there the English language is very, very much valued. In fact, everywhere the English communication skills are very much valued. You write a journal paper, you write an article, you write a report, you write a patent, everything is in English, right? And you make presentations, you go to conferences, you talk to customers. So if you can just imagine, if you cannot communicate your thoughts effectively in oral and written form in good English, then that's a major handicap. And I will tell you, it becomes practically impossible to learn it later on. You may think that, well, right now let me enjoy, chill, and go through my subjects, and later on I will develop my communication skills. But communication is not something that becomes so easy with age. The younger, the better it is, the easier it is to learn communication. So it's high time you learned. In case you don't have those skills, you are not confident at speaking and writing good English, please work on your English. Take up some good magazines, good books, and take up a good dictionary and start reading those magazines and referring to the dictionary for whatever unknown words you come across, learning those words. I remember my childhood, I was so fond of learning good English that I will take up any magazine and I'll try to read those articles, and I'll have a dictionary by me, and every unknown word I will try to learn. And in this way, my English developed very nicely. I remember writing the GRE exam also after my master's, and I did very well in my English language. And I didn't have to study much for it because the groundwork had been done long back. Since my childhood itself, I was referring to dictionary and learning, improving my vocabulary. So effective communication is very important, and it is indispensable, I would say. It is not something you can learn later. You can learn C++ later, you can learn Python later, but communication will not, effective communication will not happen overnight. It's not, certainly not. Because I've seen my own colleagues in my office, they're struggling big time. They have taken courses after courses in English language, but it does not work. It does not work like that. So please do focus on improving your English communication. It's extremely important, right? So in case you feel that you are not confident, this is the time to improve your English. Maybe you can start speaking amongst yourself in English, or you can improve your reading or increase your reading or writing of English, or hearing some English news channels or things like that. I remember I used to hear English news in my childhood, and that way also it helped me develop good English. So that's about communication skills. That's very important. So what I have covered is knowledge and skills. And in skills, I have covered what I've talked is two things. One is technical skills, and one is communication skills, right? And what now I would like to dwell upon for the next half an hour or so is about character. So this character is also something very important, and it does not happen overnight. Right? We cannot develop character overnight. So, and especially I want to highlight on it right now because you are at the formative years of your life, when your life is very strongly molded by different impressions that you gain from the outside world, right? You see so many things outside, and because of your young age, you may get very much influenced by those impressions, and they can affect you positively or negatively in your future life, right? So that is why developing a very good character right now at your young age is will hold you in good stead for your entire lifetime. It will help you throughout your life, not only in your career, but in your personal life as well. So this character development is very important. And in character development, there are various aspects that I have learned in my corporate life hard way. Some lessons have been learned the hard way, and some lessons have been learned thanks to the help of many others who have helped me throughout my career here. So certain things I would like to talk about from the character perspective. So yes, so first of all, what I would like to say is you have to cultivate steadiness in your work. Usually, engineering college and professional educational degree involves writing some exams and getting good grades. That's all, right? So what? So people have this formula. They are extraordinarily brilliant. I remember when we were young, the brain is very efficient. The brain works very fast. Right? As you grow old, from someone like me, the brain is not so efficient. But you guys have really very, very good brains. Very, very good brains. So what you will do, you have an exam tomorrow, so you'll open your book today, or maybe even tomorrow early in the morning and read for a few hours. And that's all. That's all is required to crack the exam, right? So what you learn in the process is that, well, doing anything takes a few hours. Rest of the time, just chill, just enjoy, just make merry, just smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol. That's what most of the colleges, engineering colleges teach, unfortunately, today. So at least that's what our college was at that time. Not that the college faculty was teaching it, but somehow or the other, the hostel environment was such that practically everyone was smoking or drinking. Hardly anyone would be studying, right? So the culture that we develop is, well, everything will happen in the last moment. And that's what we carry forward in our corporate life also. And that's something that is extremely detrimental. That will surely not work in a corporate life. Corporate life involves steady functioning, right? It's not about slogging in the end overs, right? It's not about 2020 game. It's about like a marathon, long marathon. It's not just about 100-meter sprint. It's a long marathon. So, like in Hindi we say, na, lambi race ka ghoda. So we have to become like that, lambi race ka ghoda. You have to become a marathon runner, right? If you are just a sprinter, sprinter means a short distance runner. Well, you will get tired in a few days. That's all. You cannot go on in the corporate world. Right? In order to sustain yourself day after day, month after month, year after year, project after project, right? You have to be a marathon runner. You have to have that steadiness in your character, right? So that's something very important. So cultivating that spirit of steadiness. So what I would recommend is, instead of doing that last day studies before the exam, learn to cultivate this quality of being a steady worker. I know this is something very difficult and probably it would be forgotten as soon as the class ends. I know that because that's the culture in the college. You just study before the exam. But this will certainly help you in the corporate world if you cultivate steadiness. Right? Corporate life means, at least my research career means, you are working in very complicated projects and in a team, right? It's not an individual performance. In academic world, you just have to study your own exam and you just have to clear your own exam. You just don't have to do anything with the other person. Whether he studies or not is his problem. It does not affect your life in any way. But in corporate world, it's like a whole team. There can be big teams of hundreds of people involved. So if you do not do your work properly and on time, then the whole project suffers and your career suffers. So steadiness is something very important. And yeah. And basically the steadiness involves three things I will tell you. These are time-tested techniques. It's not something that I'm speaking from my mind, but these are time-tested techniques. You can just note down these three things. And this is a formula. This is the recipe for success in any endeavor. This is a universal principle. What is this? I will tell you. Enthusiasm, determination, and patience. Utsaha, Nishchaya, and Dhairya. These are time-tested things which have been tested over hundreds of years. Universal principles. So, you know this, enthusiasm, patience, and determination. To be successful in any endeavor, you need these three things. Enthusiasm. What does enthusiasm mean? Enthusiasm means the zeal for doing a particular thing. The basic zeal. Just like if someone is not very hungry, he has just had a very nice meal, and in front of it is presented like a big plate of very nice palatable dishes, gulab jamuns and rasgullas and rasmalais and kachoris and puris and sabjis and paneer and kofta and what all, right? Will he be willing to eat all of that? Will he wish to eat that? What do you say? Someone would like to say something? If your stomach is full and you are presented with a whole plate of very nice, delectable dishes, would you like to eat such a thing? No. Soman says no. Okay. Maybe you would like to fill it in your pocket and go home and take it later. But the thing is, there requires an appetite for doing everything, right? So if you are a hungry man, you have not eaten for several hours or several days, and you are presented this, you will gulp it in a few minutes, and then you will ask for more, give me more, right? So that is called enthusiasm, because you have that appetite in your heart to do something. So that appetite has to be there. That enthusiasm has to be there. That enthusiasm is the thing which helps us, which propels us to wake up early in the morning and do our duties, right? Otherwise, nobody will wake up in the morning. That's why most of the colleges, they just sleep for hours till late in the day. It is something very, very detrimental for our health and for our careers as well. It's very nice idea to wake up early in the morning. So the point is that enthusiasm is required for whatever endeavor we want to do. Right? Without enthusiasm, we cannot do anything. So that enthusiasm is required. And that enthusiasm itself is not sufficient. Right? We have something, we have an enthusiasm, right? I want to, let us say, enthusiasm for whatever, you enthusiasm for doing a project in some big college or writing an exam, say preparing for a company only. Yeah, take it like that. That you want to prepare for a big company, multinational, say Microsoft, which pays you say 50 lakh salary per year. So you want to prepare for that exam. Tomorrow is the placement, and you are very enthusiastic. But simply having enthusiasm will not do. You have to work towards it, right? You have to prepare. You have to work hard for it, right? So that is called nishchaya. You have to work hard, right? You have to be determined to do well. You have to work with focus, right? So that is nishchaya or determination, right? So that determination is very much required. Otherwise, that enthusiasm becomes just a wishful thinking, daydreaming. Someday I'll become a great, I'll become the president of India, I'll become the prime minister of India. Someday I'll become the CEO of the company. And what is the action? No action. So will it happen? Never. It is not going to happen. Right? So enthusiasm has to be followed with action. And that is where your hard work, your endeavor, your determination is required. Right? Like there is a saying in English, burning the midnight oil. Right? You have to wake up for late, or you have to strive hard, you have to spend your sweat, or you have to spend your blood for achieving the desired goal. It's not so easy. So that is determination, right? Utsaha, nishchaya, and only determination and enthusiasm will not do, because sometimes you're determined, you're working hard, but there is no result. Absolutely no result, or there are failures. Then what do? You have to be patient. You have to wait for your time. Results will come. You have to keep on endeavoring, and patience is required. So, dhairya, utsaha, nishchaya, and dhairya. So these three ingredients are time-tested recipes for success in any kind of endeavor. Anything. The universal principles. So imbibe these qualities in your life right now when you are in the university. When you go there to the corporate world, again the same principles will hold true. The same qualities will help you in wherever you are. Whatever, you may be working as a scientist, you may be working as an engineer, you may be working as a doctor, you may be working as an IT analyst. So it will help you because you have those fundamental qualities. And these character traits are like, you have a big building. Right now I'm in Bombay. And in Bombay, if you go, you'll see big multi-stories, 50 stories, 60-story buildings everywhere. And these buildings, big buildings, they look very good, very attractive. But what is not seen is the foundation. That's not visible. but that sword is holding the whole tower. It's almost as deep as the height of the building itself, the foundation. And without the foundation, any building, just a little storm and the building will collapse. So similarly, this character traits of enthusiasm, patience, and determination is what is we are trying to create a big building based on very solid foundation, right? So that's very important to have these foundational traits in our life right now as a student. Right? So the more you work towards this, whatever you may be a sports person, you may be a student, whatever activity you are engaged in, try to focus on developing these qualities, right? How you are enthusiastic, how you are determined, and how you are patient. I tell you my own experience. I used to play table tennis in my college days. And I also started practicing pranayam when I was doing masters in my college. And with pranayam, I learned the value of patience and determination, because you have to sit alone and work on your breath, work on your mind, work on your thoughts, and steady them. It's not an easy thing. But as you keep progressing, the beauty of it makes your life very, very joyful from inside. And when I used to play table tennis, many a times I would be just on the verge of a complete defeat. But still, I had this patience that I will just not give up till the last point. I will not give up. And I used to fight. And many a times I remember, many a times I have actually won an impossible game. Many a times. So this taught me an important lesson, that patience and determination is very important. You are never defeated in life until you accept that for yourself. You have to keep fighting, fighting, fighting. You have to keep endeavoring, endeavoring, endeavoring. So just work on these qualities as a sportsman or as a student. Just keep on. Sometimes even before the exams, what happens is sometimes we feel that tomorrow is the exam and I have not prepared anything. What am I going to do? What am I going to write? It's a failure. I'm going to fail the exam. Finish. There is no point studying. Nothing is going into my head, right? But no, just take it on yourself. No, all that I have right now is the moment at hand. The time that I have now, the moment that I have right now is the only thing I have at disposal. I don't have any control over my past. I don't have any control over my future, right? All that I have is right now. And all that I can do is focus to the best of my ability on the moment at hand, on the task at hand, right? And in this way, patiently, 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 you keep studying, 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 and finally you end up doing very well in the exam, right? It's all about the mind game. It's a mind, status of the mind, state of the mind, right? So the mind can be the worst enemy or the best friend. It's all about how we control the mind. That's all. So we have to work on these qualities. We have to develop our mind. We have to control our mind and develop these qualities, right? Then we can actually be very successful in whatever endeavor we make in the future. Right? And apart from that, what I would like to say is corporate world is slightly different, because many a time you'll be criticized for your failures, for your weaknesses. Naturally, we are not some superhuman beings with all the talent and the skills of this world. We have some abilities and we have some frailties or weaknesses. And many a times we'll fail, no matter who we are. And many a times, therefore, we'll be criticized, right? By our supervisors, by our colleagues, right? So how do you take that criticism in your life? So that's also very important. What I've learned is over the years that we have to take this in the right spirit. We have to take it positively. We should not get disheartened by criticism. And also we should be able to objectively analyze whether the person who is criticizing, is he criticizing on the right point or not? Is he objective in his criticism or not? Sometimes people just criticize because they are not in a good state of mind. That's all. They say something, well, we are like this only. And their point does not have any foundation. So better don't take such criticism very strongly, because such persons themselves are not worth valuing. Right? So we have to be very objective in our analysis of what critical points people have to offer to us, right? We cannot take them just get completely overwhelmed by what the world has to tell us, right? We have our own convictions, we have our own understanding, right? Just simply because someone is criticizing us doesn't make us useless, right? We have to take it in the positive spirit. We have to know who is criticizing us and how to take it. What does he want us to do? And we have to wait for time. Time is a great healer. So sometimes people criticize, and what happens is the natural tendency is to criticize back. Someone tells you, तुमने ये गलत किया, तुमको कुछ नहीं आता है. Then what is the natural consequence? If he is your peer or someone, he will say, तुमको भी कुछ नहीं आता है, तुम भी गधे हो. Something like that, right? Tit for tat. Many times we feel that, well, this is befitting, this is most appropriate response, but that's not what we are supposed to do. What we are supposed to do is just listen to him patiently. And if he is correct, then take it in the right spirit and try to improve on ourselves. And if he is wrong, then anyway, we need not bother about his comment, right? Right. So we should not definitely respond in the same way as they have told us, because that affects our relationship. On the other hand, if you take it, if he's saying some very harsh words to us, and if you take it very smilingly, very positively, then he will later on think that I said so many harsh words to him, but he did not say anything in return. So I must go and apologize to him. And that's where there's a foundation of a good relationship laid. Good relationships are not just everyone is praising each other, right? That's a good relationship. No, that's not a good relationship always. Good relationship means people will criticize us and still we appreciate them in return. Right? That's our nature, right? Just like the nature of a snake or a serpent is to bite. But the nature of a good, noble person is he would like to do good to everyone, no matter whether someone is critical, someone is harsh, someone is envious, someone is inimical, still that person wants to do good to everyone. So if we maintain our goodness, if we maintain our morality, if we want maintain our character, then that's our victory, right? So that is why it's very important to be able to face criticism in a corporate world. People will definitely criticize. No one can escape that. So that is very important, that we should be able to accept criticism and at the same time appreciate others for whatever good they have done. See the good in others. There is no loss in that. And if we just become an appreciator, become the well-wisher of others in their successes, we become very happy. In their failures, we become sad. So then naturally, we become well-wishers for everyone. And then naturally, we will have very good relationship with everyone in the corporate world. And therefore, the place itself becomes very conducive for our own functioning. Maybe these qualities will not become very evident in a short period of time, but as you work for 5, 10, 15 years, these qualities start becoming more and more evident and people will start appreciating them. No, this is a person who stands out. right? Who stands out amongst all of us, right? And that will bring about great success. I tell you in my own experiences, so many times I have been questioned for my performance. That Vinay, what have you done over the years in this company? You have done nothing. And the very next day, a letter comes, all of us, that Vinay, that we are pleased to inform that colleague Vinay Jain has been awarded the gold medal for the best paper in this and this journal. I got a real gold medal. You won't believe. Nobody has got that real gold medal. And just the day after I was being criticized, we have done nothing for the company. I am being appreciated for the paper that I had written, the gold medal. And so all my critics were naturally shut. I didn't try to shut them artificially by fighting with them. No. But your performance itself will speak, right? And good things will naturally happen if you remain good in this world. And if you start becoming like that, then you cannot expect such things. So I've seen in my own life that if you just maintain your goodness, remain a well-wisher for everyone, accept criticism in the right spirit, certainly you will be blessed with a lot of success, a lot of accolades and awards and everything. So these are character traits. This will not happen overnight. And these are easier to forget. Maybe you'll forget immediately after the talk. Because it requires hard work, patience, determination to cultivate those qualities, cultivate such convictions. Because once you are being criticized, you don't know what is going to be in the future. Maybe they are going to fire me or they are going to mistreat me. But if you have that conviction, you know that no, just wait for the time. Be patient. Be patient. Time will come when the same people who are criticizing you will actually appreciate. Time will come. So wait for the time, right? So wait for time. Time is called a great healer, a great, what is it called? Forgot the word. Basically settles everything, right? So time will settle all the misconceptions and the criticisms and everything. Just wait for your time and just keep patiently endeavoring. Don't speak much that I will do this, I will do that, main karke dikhunga. That kind of boasting is not very helpful. Rather, be silent and keep working silently. Let people criticize. The more people criticize, you should think that yes, more it is an opportunity for me to prove my hard work, through my patience, and certainly time will prove them. I will not prove or disprove them through my words, but I will prove them through my actions. That conviction should be there. So I think there is a lot to speak, but yeah. So I think time is up for me. So what I just like to summarize what I spoke about in a minute. Basically, I talked about developing knowledge, developing technical skills and communication skills, and developing character. And in character, I talked about first three things which are aimed at developing steadiness in our life. That is utsaha, nishcha, and dhairya, enthusiasm, patience, and determination. And then I talked about certain other things, that how we should take up criticism in our life, how we should become well-wisher of everyone in our corporate environment, how we should work as a team together and wish good for others and appreciate others, and thus definitely will be blessed with a lot of success. We just become their well-wisher and not become a criticizer like others. It's very easy to criticize, but it's very difficult to appreciate. So these qualities are foundational principles. If you cultivate them right now in your formative years as a student, certainly they will definitely reap rich dividends in the future. So with this, I would like to end my talk. So thank you all very much. Wish you all a very bright future. And I hope this was useful to you in some small way. And if you have any questions, please, maybe we can take a couple of questions.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is, sir, which types of activities are you are participate in your college premises that improve your skills and communication skills?
May I know who are you speaking? What's your name?
Sir,
Because I cannot see.
my name is Sir Sumin Kavi.
Okay. Which year are you in, Soman?
Sir, first year.
First year. So yes, I used to engage in lot of activities. I used to play cricket. I used to play table tennis, and I used to study a lot. So from my childhood only, I was very much into sports. So cricket and table tennis, I used to play, and I used to win many competitions in table tennis in my college days. And also in my studies, I used to study a lot. So as I said, I was not a very brilliant student for that matter. I was fairly slow. Still, I continue to be a very slow person. So it's not that I was extremely talented or very sharp or very brilliant. No, but I was very much, I should say I was sincere. I used to study my books sincerely. And I will tell you, apart from getting an admission at IISc in my final year, all that I used to study in library books and all these things. In my final year, I won so many awards. We got a chance to participate in a technical quiz contest in IIT Madras. Can you imagine? IIT Madras was very big university at that time for us. We got a chance to go there and we win the competition there. There were IITians also there. We won the contest. So, and then I won many technical essay writing competition, many many other quiz contests in the campus in my final semester. So I used to participate in all these activities. I was not very much into many other sports and many other debates and all this thing, but yeah, technical activities I was very much there. And even in my college at IISc, and I was doing my masters, I used to play table tennis, and at the same time I used to do pranayama, which was very helpful for me to understand my own self, control my own mind, and at the same time experience great joy from within. So, and that helped me do very well in my project work also. I got the best grade in my IISc project work. So, so all these things I used to do, and I had very good friendships also. Very good friendship. I was not an introvert. I was very much having a lot of friendship with people. I was the placement in charge in my IISc days. I used to call companies and interact with them. So a lot of activities I was involved in. Yeah. So, but what I would like to say is, yeah, means I was very sincere on the. Whatever I did it with heart. No matter how simple or how difficult a thing it is, I would put my heart into it. Whether I'm playing table tennis or whether I'm doing studies or whether I'm uh, in any activity, doing pranayam, I would put my heart and soul into it. So that was my nature from my childhood only. So that's something very important. Put your heart and soul into what you're doing, not do it in a very casual way. right? If you do it something in a casual way, you become a casualty. You become a casualty. That means you may not end up doing it very nicely. So you do it with your heart and soul involved. Right? So, yeah, so that's something briefly that I was engaging in my college days. I hope it answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Basically, don't be lazy. My college days, my friends, they would be sleeping for hours and hours together because they had nothing to do. I was not lazy. I was also sleeping, definitely, but I was not so lazy. I was fairly active. I used to play and I used to do other things, go to the library on weekends, study. I was fairly active. So that tendency has to be there. Don't be lazy. Yeah. Anything. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Hello.
Sir, I want to ask you question is, which subject you think is mandatory, means like DAA or any specific language, or deep knowledge is required in this subject to survive in corporate. So what is that subject?
So what is that subject that is mandatory for
Means
you to?
mandatory. It is minimum requirement to survive or minimum requirement to grow in, means always grow in corporate world, always.
Yeah. So what is your branch? Because that depends on your particular branch. For me, my branch is material science. So for me, the subjects may be different from what you have to study. So what is your branch?
Okay, sir, can you tell me your branch?
My branch is material science. My branch is material science and engineering. Hello.
Sir, for IT,
Yours is IT.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Information
for
technology.
IT.
Information technology, right? So you study subjects like Java, C++, C, and nowadays machine learning, Python. All these subjects are very critical for an IT student, right? To study these subjects and develop expertise in these subjects, then you would be I'm not very much sure about IT subjects, but that's what my limited
Hello, sir.
understanding. Huh?
I lost the connection, sir, and now I got the connection. My branch is CSC, sir. Can I ask you what is your branch?
My branch is material science and engineering.
Okay, okay, okay. So how you went in this corporate world, sir? Means why didn't you choose your core subject?
So that was my core subject only. What I am working on is now material science only. I am a scientist working in material science. So still what my core subjects were, it's very much related to that.
Okay, okay, okay. Actually, I was not known about it. I have many subjects, sir, like design and analysis of algorithm, microprocessor interface. My sir teacher always say that design and analysis is very important, very important. Therefore, I ask you which subject is important.
Which year are you in right now? First year?
Second year, sir.
Okay, so what you can do is study all the subjects very nicely, very thoroughly. Okay, so study all the subjects very thoroughly, and then whatever company comes to your campus, because you are thorough with all the subjects, you can do well in your interviews there. You can impress them, and at the same time, in your vacations, try to do some projects in some good place and learn some skills in a few subjects because your project will involve doing something practical. So learn some skills and then you will be very well situated. Right.
Okay,
So
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
learn all the subjects very nicely by studying, by developing interest. If you don't have interest, try to develop interest. Uh, so try to work hard. Sometimes it may be that you may feel that, well, I am dull headed, I cannot study so much. But still, if you keep trying, you will get all the help from
Okay.
within.
Sir, have you faced a problem in being consistent? Means ever? Have you ever faced a problem of consistency in your work?
Yeah, very nice question. So that is something very relevant, that consistency problem with steadiness. So as I said, can you say, what did I say? 3 things for being steady in life.
Sir, enthusiasm, patience, and determination.
Right. Very good. Thank you very much. You have understood it very nicely. So the thing is, right now we are not at that standard of perfection. Right. So many times as we try to cultivate these qualities, because we don't have it right now, we fail. So we become unsteady. Right. For example, you have to wake up early in the morning and prepare for your studies, but you sometimes fail to wake up. You end up sleeping till late because you are used to it. We are used to sleeping till late, right? So then you may get discouraged that, well, this does not work for me, right? But you should not get discouraged. To maintain that enthusiasm, keep endeavoring and keep working intelligently. If you want to wake up early, let's sleep early. You cannot think of waking up early by sleeping at 12 o'clock in the night, right? If you sleep at 9 o'clock or early, then you can think of waking up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and having a fresh mind and then studying peacefully, right? So accordingly, you have to be very intelligent in assessing what went wrong and addressing the uh, things accordingly, right? So
Okay, sir.
you, so
Okay.
in this way, you will experience a lot of unsteadiness also. Becoming steady is not so easy, definitely not, and it takes time. But still, you keep trying with these 3 focus points: enthusiasm, patience, and determination. And you will see that results will keep happening. Right.
Okay, okay. You
And also,
already said that
yeah,
for consistency we require patience because we fail, and that for bouncing back we require patience and
yes, patience,
determination.
yes. Basically, I will tell you,
Mm.
enthusiasm is something, even when nobody is there around you, you still are willing to do something. That is enthusiasm. And patience is something you are not getting any result. No result. You're working, no result. Kuch bhi nahi ho raha. That is patience. And determination means even you are failing constantly, you still give determined effort. So that is in a way determination. Sometimes you keep failing, sometimes it becomes like a mountain you are climbing, steep mountain, Mount Everest, but still you keep endeavoring. So that is determination, right? So that
Okay, sir.
determination is very important.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was a very nice session, sir.
Thank you so much for being such a nice audience.
Yes,
And
sir. It's a very nice session, sir.
thank you.
Sir,
I hope,
are we allowed to contact you in means off this session?
yeah, why not? You can contact me. You can take my number and you can contact me. No issues.
Yes, sir, sure, sir. We will be very pleased to have your number.
Sure, sure. You are always most welcome.
Sir, can you share it here or anywhere
Wait,
else?
I'll share it in the chat if you wish.
That will be good.
Yeah. Yes. Anything else? Anyone has any other question?
No, sir. I hope that all of you have learned most of the things which were covered by Vinay, sir. Initially, from the starting of the session, sir compared difference between academic world and cooperative world. Then, sir, explore about three aspects of career. That is, first of all, knowledge, second, skills, and third, character. Then, sir, give a very grateful thought. Young age is the best time to grasp communication skill. Then, sir, express importance of character. After that, sir express, express three approaches of steadiness, which were first of all enthusiasm, second patience, and third determination. And lastly, sir, tells the importance of time. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time, and sir, you give most valuable information to all of us. Thanking you.
Thank you, Ayush, and all the organizers for giving me a chance once again. And also at the end, I would like to touch upon one point briefly, is all this will happen provided you keep the right association of the right kind of people. If you have the right association of the wrong people, or if you have the wrong association of unwanted people, it can lead you seriously astray in your work, in your life. It can ruin your career, it can ruin your life. So have the right association. Sometimes when we are not able to raise ourselves up, sometimes situations are so overwhelming that we are like left alone in a pool of negativity. So if we are blessed with the right association, who can inspire us, who can motivate us, who can cheer us up with the right inspiration, with the right kind of guidance, then that association is the most precious thing in the world. So try to cultivate the right association in your college days, and also try to avoid those people who actually inject you with negativity and wrong principles actually, right? So today there are more people who will tell you, okay, if you have not done good in your exam, so well, come on, we'll go and smoke a cigarette, or we'll have some beer and we'll cool, we'll chill. But if you have the right association, they will tell you, no, you cannot do this. This will disappoint your parents. Your parents have sent you for the right purpose here in the college, and what you are doing with their money, you are going and drinking and smoking cigarettes. Will it please your parents? No. We should be patient. We should learn some failures, learn to accept failures also, learn to accept some difficulties in life without giving into our temptations and without giving into such wrong tendencies. So it's very important that we have the right association in life. That's very important. So please cultivate that also. Take advantage of these wise people. They are definitely very helpful in your career for the future. So please take their association and shine and blossom in your future. Right? With these words, I would like to end this session. Thank you all very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.